Okay, I genuinely did not expect it to look this good at this stage. Magnificent Mecha just revealed the fully painted prototype of MM-02, their take on the original Bayverse Trilogy Optimus Prime, covering on the 2007 Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon movie design. And before we get into anything else, I want to make something very clear. This is still not the final painted production version yet. Some areas are still being adjusted. The lighting in this photo is not properly color balanced, but even then, with all of those disclaimers, this is already looking extremely promising. We are finally seeing the full flame application. We are seeing the metallic layering. We are seeing subtle weathering across the panels, like slight weathering effects at the corners of X panel. And for the first time, we are seeing the complete truck mode, including the bed. From the last video, many people didn't even trust the Ray prototype photo that I put on the video to be the actual truck mode. And now we finally have more truck mode of the painted prototype too. And honestly, this feels like the first time in a while a third-party Bayverse Trilogy Optimus Prime is striking a strong balance between both robot presence and truck representation. There are still things that can be improved, and that is actually the exciting part. So let's go through this carefully. Let's start with the paint, because this is clearly where they are winning at the moment. Again, the photos are not perfectly color corrected, so I would not trust the exact shade of the blue or the red just yet. What matters more right now is that the finish quality and the surface treatment seem to be pretty good. The flame decals are sharply applied, properly aligned. The metallic red and blue both have depth rather than looking flat or over glossy. The silver mechanical section have subtle dry brushing that adds texture without making the figures look too dirty. I really like the silver that I used in here, a little more shiny and better looking than the MPM-04 type silver, but still not as good as the black apple chrome colors. At the corners of some panel, you can see that on the blue panel or the red panels here and there in some of the promotional image, the balance looks pretty good. In Transformer Revenge of the Fallen, Optimus Prime is metallic and battle-worn, but he still carries a heroic polish. It should not look like a clean showroom truck, but he also should not look like a heavily weathered. This prototype captured the tone surprisingly well, and since this is not the final painted version, there's room for more blue tone and small detailing to be refined even further. Now, once you move past the paint, the next big question becomes the robot mode presence. In robot mode, these figures look powerful. The chest proportion feel correct. The shoulder mass is strong. The arms have layered mechanical sculpting that looks crisp rather than soft. From more standard display angle, the silhouette feels accurate and commanding. That alone is a big deal. Now yes, the front wheels at the ankles still protrude slightly. You can notice them from certain angles, especially if you are posing him dynamically for photography. However, this is still a prototype, and importantly, this feels like a refinement issue rather than a structural flaw. The foundation of the sculpt is solid. The stand looks stable. The detailing is consistent across the body. If they manage to tighten that ankle area just a tiny bit before the final production, this could easily move into what many collectors would consider a masterpiece level representation of the 2007 Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon Optimus. And remember, we still have not seen the full weapon set or base iteration yet, which they confirmed to be revealed after the Chinese New Year, so just stay tuned for that. Now let's talk about the truck mode, because this is the first time we're seeing the full rear bed, and I have to say, it looks better than I expected. The truck bed paneling looks pretty clean, cohesive, and detailing does not feel hollow or rushed. An interesting detail here is that the truck mode appears to be significantly different from the Ray prototype teaser we saw about a year ago. The most obvious change is the sun visor, which is now a single clean piece instead of being split down the middle by the panel separation lines. That alone suggests that this is not just a simple paint update, but a meaningful structural revision. The overall structure appears solid and intentional rather than compromised for the sake of the robot mode like some of the figures that we've seen before, like CT10 or even UTR10. But are there proportion tweaks that could improve it? I think yes. The wheels look slightly oversized relative to the body. The slipper cap appears to be a little more square than the on-screen reference. The windshield proportion might not be perfectly film accurate, and the exposed ties area underneath is noticeable at the back of the truck mode on the truck bed. But here's is the important distinction. This feels like tuning issues, not fundamental engineering failures. And historically, truck mode has often been the weakest side of any Optimus Prime interpretation in toy form for transformable figures, even from companies like Unique Toys. Well, maybe except for the old leader class of the Black Apple Optimus Prime, which have amazing vehicle mode, but then they are very rare, and most figures which prioritize the vehicle mode would struggle so much with the robot mode accuracy. So the fact that this truck mode already looks cohesive at the prototype stage is actually encouraging. With minor adjustment, this could look very strong on display. But then, of course, even for this model, nothing is perfect. Because for now, when we look at the robot mode wheels on the tires, those are supposed to be the back wheels on the truck mode. And we can see that in the promotional photos, the wheels are still the robot mode wheel. That they got the split that look like a star with silver in between the black wheel. And that is not correct for the vehicle mode. So now I kind of wonder whether the wheels are actually transformable. Because looking at the wheels on the tires, they don't seem to have transformable mechanism that is clearly visible like the Black Apple version. But it looks kind of like the LS03, in which we just take off the wheels and then replace them manually. I still hope that's not the case, because in some zoom-in images, we can still kind of see that for the back wheels or the vehicle mode, they're still double wheel, so hopefully it's still transformable somehow. And also, just as a reminder, this Optimus Prime will come with a full skeleton frame made of metals. As shown in this picture, it looks amazing, which will guarantee the quality and the heftiness of these figures going forward. What makes this review significant is not just that it looks good, it is that it looks balanced. The sculpt is confident, the paint direction is thoughtful, the truck mode is cohesive, and the overall presentation feels premium rather than experimental. We still need to see the final production paint. We still need to see the weapons. We still need to see how the base integrate. Those elements could meaningfully elevate the overall package even further. But the important thing right now is that the foundation is pretty strong from what we have seen so far. And when the foundation is strong at the prototype stage, usually that means the final result will be even better. So right now, this is a very strong prototype, but it's still not finished, not final. And that is actually positive because the areas that need improvement feel very fixable. The paint direction is promising, the robot mode present is powerful. The truck mode is already more cohesive than many collectors expected, especially for this level of details in robot mode. If Magnificent Mecha continues refining this before the final release, this could quietly become one of the most well-balanced third-party Bayverse Trilogy Optimus Prime figures available. And now, I want to hear your thoughts. Are you already sold on this direction? Or are you still waiting to see the final production paint and accessory before deciding? Let's talk in the comments.